Okie doke. Welcome to our live stream information night for the Diploma of Musical Theatre here at Oxygen College. Wherever you're joining in on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, whichever platform you've got, feel free throughout the live stream to chuck comments and questions in. We're probably going to answer quite a lot of it as we go through, but there will also be a question time at the end of this session. Where we'll go through some of the questions just in case we haven't gotten to any of them. I'm going to quickly introduce you to some of the folks that we have with us tonight. We have General Manager of Oxygen College, Luke McNamara. How are you, Luke?
Good, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Wonderful. We have our staff for the Diploma of Musical Theatre. We have the wonderful Maddie and Fiona Luca up there as Maddie. We'll change that so it says both your names just so everyone doesn't forget him for years. And we've got Jordan as well joining us. I'm going to be chucking to these guys throughout the information session. It's not going to be super long. We're going to run through little bits and pieces of information about the course, about fees and all those sort of things. And then, have a chat to different people and see what we make of it. So what we might do, I might say bye to you guys for now, just so we clear a bit of space off. Bye, guys. And just have a listen to me. What I will do is I will jump to this element here. We're going to have a bit of a talk through who we are here at Oxygen College. A lot of you, this might be your first foray into it. So just chat about some of the things that we've done and then work our way through it. So who are we? Here at Oxygen College, we are a creative arts RTO. We've been established here in Geelong since 2011, and we have campuses in Ballarat and Werribee, which is awesome. We are, like I said, creative arts is our field as well. We have courses in music, performance and composition. We have courses in sound production or audio engineering, and we have courses in digital content creation, so sort of screen and media and photography, and visual arts as well. So throughout that, we offer certificate 4s, diplomas, advanced diplomas in each of those. I won't spend too much time on that, other than to probably point out that we're really lucky with the facility that we already have set up here at Oxygen College. 4 recording studios, dozens of rehearsal spaces, rehearsal rooms, fully decked out computer rooms, computer labs, full art studios, photography studios, screen and media shed, which is awesome as well. So we're really lucky with what we offer here already. And we're really hopeful that the Diploma of Musical Theatre will be able to integrate into that really well and work with all those people. One of the things that has been really enjoyable to watch evolve over the 10, 12, 13, however many years we've been around here in Geelong and Ballarat and Werribee is the networking and the collaboration between all those departments. So working with photography and sound and music and performance and all those elements together, which is, just really, really fun to be a part of. So again, we're hoping that musical theatre will be able to integrate really, really seamlessly into that too. Our student cohort here at Oxygen, we already have over 500 students. Luke actually knows the number for that, so I might let him shout that out. I've muted his camera, so he's probably yelling at me off screen. But over 500 students enrolled across all our courses. Anything from 16 up, and by up, we mean all ages as well. We have some of the most wonderful grown-up sized people floating around the college here as well. Our students are generally interested in practical learning and industry-relevant education. So a lot of what we do isn't just sort of sitting in a book. It is, just getting involved and actually putting projects and things together. And all eligible Oxygen College students have access to vet student loans. Luke's going to go through a little bit more about that later on as well, because I inherently muck up all the information about fees. So Luke's going to chat about that. But the main reason we are here tonight is to have a chat about the Diploma of Musical Theatre. So some information about that in a general sort of sense is it's a 12-month course. It's full-time, but full-time at a diploma level means 3 days a week, 3 full days a week. Those days are generally 9 till 4. And generally speaking, they're 2 classes a day. We'll go into how they sort of break down a little bit later on as well. The course will begin delivery in February of 2025. The intake that we're talking about tonight is the intake that will be in the 2025, starting in February next year. It runs for 36 weeks, give or take, and it should be wrapped up by the end of November. Like I said, it is a formal qualification of a Diploma of Musical Theatre. The code is there if you want to look it up, and 16 units of study in total. The class size that we are looking at is 18. We're going to cap it at 18. That may evolve as the course evolves, but for 2025, that'll be 18. One of the things we've found here at Oxygen College, and I know a lot of creative arts facilities are the same, whilst we sort of have an idea in our head of what a cohort looks like on paper, when we meet you all, you're all utterly unique humans, and allowing the classes to stay semi-small allows us as staff to get to know our students really well and work with them. And that's, like, for us, that's really, really important. And we've found really successful, not just for students, but for staff and training as well. So, like I said, next year's Diploma of Musical Theatre will be capped at 18 students. So let's jump into what the course is actually about. The areas of study here for the Diploma of Musical Theatre is acting, singing, dancing. The main three, we're not going to be focusing specifically on one or the other as a priority. It will be very much in all three. There will be times when you're focusing on one rather than the other, and there'll be times when you're combining them all. But across the year that you spend with us, you'll be very much focused on all three of those. And that will collaborate in performance, where we put all three of those mediums together. But we'll also be looking at just the musical theatre industry in general. So looking to make sure that our students are equipped with the knowledge of how musical theatre and its industry works. So if their next step is out into the industry, they know what they're doing, they know what to expect. And I reckon that brings me to the first guest. Now, where I'm really good at lots of things. Piano, acoustic piano is my thing. Technology, not so much. George is a bit like me, except we can't play the piano. So he's actually jumped in on my computer because we're going to get the sound on his to work. So he's here. And I think if I do that, you'll see him.
Hello.
He's been so quiet. It's just like the quietest I've ever seen him be in a space all at once. So he's been sitting here quietly waiting for me to stop talking. So I'm just going to, if I do that and fall out of screen, but it does say Phil Carney on there. So this is Jordan Ubazable, and he is, amongst many other things, going to be taking up acting. And I'll bring up that slide there for you to chat about. But he's going to have a quick chat about acting for us and what to expect from that point of view. Jordan, all yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil. Really appreciate it. Thrilled to be on board as a trainer here. This diploma is so exciting. And I think what's been really, really satisfying over the past 12 months has been developing this program with the team here. So as Phil said, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the acting side of the diploma. Now, acting it's so much more than just delivering dialogue, especially when we're talking about musical theatre, where the storytelling really, it comes through singing and movement as well as the spoken word. So as far as the acting side of this course, there's 2 dedicated units that students will be working on throughout the course of the year. And we've structured it in a way that it gives students a really strong foundation to develop their technique and to grow their skills and their confidence. So we'll be exploring improv, scene study, character analysis, and then we progress on to scene work and monologues and scene into song. And that's where the students really refine their techniques in all the disciplines and bring it together. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. As Phil said, send through comments with questions on things that we can answer tonight. It'll be an opportunity to get really specific about any information you want to know. But yeah, that's acting in a nutshell. But yeah, just shoot through any info and we'll go from there.
For those playing along, acting in a nutshell is going to be the one-man show that Jordan puts on after he's done with us, which should be heaps of fun. That was really smooth, that transition, George. We did really well. Very impressed by us. I will move on to our next. Like I said, we'll have questions come through, and we'll look to address them at the end. But keep throwing them through. We may actually answer some of those questions as we go as well. I will jump on to, I think if I press this little button here, hey, it brings up Maddie and Fee. I'm all over it. Who are going to chat to us about singing and dancing. We got you two there with us. I might make you big on the screen. I didn't do that for George, but you're far better. So we might start with you. Maddie, we'll start with singing. What is it that people can expect in terms of singing?
All right, so over the year, we've got 2 main vocal units that we're going to be working on, and they're looking at vocal technique as well as building repertoire and then acting through song. There's a heavy focus on vocal technique, and specifically my passion is brain-based singing and evidence-based singing. I tend to take a holistic approach, so looking vocal, physical and emotional, and helping my students to fully understand vocal anatomy and how the voice works, and then they can create a more reliable and sustainable instrument. And it's, passion of mine is making sure that you know exactly what's going on so that you've got the best tools under your belt. We're going to have regular private singing lessons, group workshops, and mock auditions as well. So if you have any questions about how that's going to work or how it's going to run, as Phil and George have said, pop them up so that we can explain it a little bit more. But that's going to be the vocal units in a nutshell.
Wonderful. And while we've got this screen nice and big and looking all fancy and whatnot, I will jump that one across to dance. Obviously, the last piece of this puzzle, musical theatre, and we have the wonderful Fiona Luca sharing a screen with Maddie there. Fee, how are you?
I'm well and
Wonderful.
happy to be here.
I know I'm an amazing dancer. I'm very, very good at it.
Okay, I'm yet to see that, but I'll take your
People
word
can't
for it.
afford the brilliance fee, so I think that's
Okay.
what it is. So, but I'll throw it to you. What is it that people can expect in terms of dance here as part of the course?
Yeah, brilliant. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to be here. And similarly to Jordan, it's been such a thrill kind of expanding this diploma and writing the course units and really navigating how we as trainers are going to support you in exploring and growing in this space. So for the dance units specifically, we focus on a broad range of things, but predominantly I support you in understanding your moving body on stage and how to use your moving body to characterize or to embrace characterization through the musical theatre kind of platform. So there'll be lots of technical development there. So don't fear if you're behind the screen and dance isn't your jam. That's my job, to support you in expanding and growing and developing in that space. We'll have one dedicated class every single week, just purely to learning and developing the technical elements of dance. And then we'll explore the quality of performance and performance techniques. And there'll be anatomy units as well, where you actually start to understand kind of the mechanics and the physiology of the moving body and how to integrate that as a moving performer. So we'll also work through the history of kind of how dance in musical theatre has evolved, and we'll explore so many different genres and platforms within the dance kind of subject, which will be really, really exciting. So you'll be learning lots of choreography, you'll be moving your body frequently, you will gain and expand on your fitness, which will have lots of benefits as a musical theatre student. So that's kind of dance in a nutshell, to stay, with the theme of nutshell.
Theme of tonight. I like that we accidentally came up with the theme. That's a good thing. Cool. Thank you so much. Like I said, we'll probably throw back to both Maddie and Fee as the night progresses and have a chat to them about any questions and things that come through to us on all the different platforms that we are streaming live to, which is super daunting. So I'll say bye to the lovely ladies there. We'll get this one back up and running. Moving on from that, we have performance. So that is where all those elements get integrated in together. And just because he's here and he's better looking than me, and it's sort of like full life instance, we'll chat about performance as well. One of the main things that we have in terms of musical theatre is combining those elements of dance, of vocals, and of acting into the storytelling, and that sort of combines into performance. What do you reckon? What can we expect in terms of performance throughout the year?
Well, it's really important for us to, obviously, as much as we're teaching everything in the classroom, is to be putting it on its feet and giving students opportunities to get in front of an audience and practice their art. So mid-year, we're targeting a full production, which is very exciting. And then at the end of the year, it's going to culminate in a showcase, a graduating showcase.
And look, the mid-year performance will allow us to go through the process of putting on a production. We just had our open day in person here at Oxford College. We were asked a lot what production we do, and we have no idea. Well, not no idea, but we can't possibly know until we meet you all. And what's available now may not be available next year. But we know there are so many wonderful stories that we could tell. So we'll look to develop that as we get to meet our cohort. But what is important is realizing that showcase at the end of the year is a good chance to for our students to have a lot more say in what it is that they perform and what they showcase in friends, family, but also the industry that we put into that space in front of you as well. And one of the things that we had a lot of feedback on when we were developing this course from industry was it's important for these students, but for anybody, just to get reps on the boards, just to get a chance to perform over and over and over again. So we were also talking about some of the audition simulations that we'll look to do as well. What are those sort of things you reckon for the punters out there in the world?
Yeah, so we'll be running regular mock auditions throughout the year, some of which will probably involve industry guests to get their eyes on the students, and also just an opportunity for the students to be, you'll naturally get more comfortable with your trainers who you see 3 days a week. So to get an industry guest in, it just raises the stakes a little bit and really makes you sort of sharpen up your preparation and technique. And then on top of the mock auditions, as Maddie also mentioned, we'll be looking at doing regular vocal workshops. And we're also developing a thing that we're just calling the rehearsal room, essentially, where basically that's your opportunity to put, whether it's a scene that you've been working on or a song, just put it on its feet in front of your peers, get some feedback, and as Phil said, get those reps up, because that's what puts you in a position to be most prepared to go out into the industry or to be furthering your training at a higher level. It's just getting that practice in.
Cool. Let's continue on through our PowerPoint here. Like I said, keep chucking those questions up. We think we're doing a pretty good job of explaining stuff, but like I said, feel free to throw questions up. We'll also look to include units on just the industry in general. I know it's coming up on a slide, but it maybe makes sense to chat about it now. One of the questions we got asked a lot at the open day was, what's the outcome for a student? What are we hoping they achieve? And one, when we sort of sat down to try and unpack that ourselves, we sort of came up with 3 avenues for our graduates that we think would be really successful ones. And one is to step straight into the industry. Now, whether or not you are up to that from a practical sense will depend utterly on you. But what we're hoping from a course like this is that you'll have the information, the knowledge, and the understanding of the industry to make that step if that is where you're up to. So having industry guests come in, not just actors, but directors, agents, managers, that sort of world as well, so that when you do have to make that step into auditions, you have a good sense of what they expect. So the second area might be for further study as well. So we have a really high respect for a lot of the courses that already exist across Australia. We're really lucky here with the musical industry that we have, not just the practical sense, but also the education that's available. And if your next step is to the VCA, WAPA, NIDA, Griffith, any of the other ones that I've missed, we couldn't be more proud of you. So we will look to make sure that you are at your best to make that step if that's the next thing of your journey as well. And the last one is perhaps just figuring out across the 12-month course here that whilst you love musical theatre, maybe it's not a career for you. And since joining back into theatre in Geelong myself, especially working with some of the amateur companies around here, I have the utmost respect for what that brings to the industry, and it is the backbone of what we do. And there are some amazing performers who are also chefs, doctors, architects, and all these other wonderful things too. And if that's part of your journey here, just to become the best version of that you can, again, that would be wonderful. But we'll look to make sure we give you that information so that next step becomes something that is achievable. It was literally the next slide. Man, I should have read through this thing. There you go. Right there. Jordan's laughing next to me here. You can probably hear him giggling. One of the big parts that we have is our partnership with the Geelong Arts Centre. The amazing people down at the Geelong Arts Centre. When we had this crazy idea, almost 2 years ago now, having a chat to these guys and getting them on board was a huge part of it, because again, having grown up in Geelong and been involved in the Creative Arts Centre here in Geelong, it is the heartbeat of where arts come to meet in Geelong. And yeah, this amazing new facility allows us to sort of develop our students in, there we go, Create an Arts Hub in Geelong, where education and creation meet, a learning ground that fosters growth and development in professional environment, state-of-the-art facility, a really tangible connection between Geelong's primary arts facility, and that is the Geelong Arts Centre, and the arts educator that we are as well. And a really industry-relevant course that allows for education to be offered at this level in regional Victoria. Like I said, we've been here in Oxygen College delivering arts-related courses for a long time, and a lot of our cohort come from regional Victoria. And whilst we, again, welcome the travel up to Melbourne, we think that place is awesome. We know that sometimes that step can be a bit far, and being able to offer this sort of education in this type of facility with the support of something like the Geelong Arts Centre, to regional Victoria is really, really important to us. And again, you jump on their website, have a look at the spaces that we'll be working through, especially Fee, who was on before. We'll be down there quite a lot with the dance cohort in some of the wonderful spaces that they have there. And our performances will be ideally through that space as well, which we're really, really looking forward to. So I'm going to keep pushing through because I promised I wouldn't go too long. The audition process, which, by the way, there's a little QR code just above my head up there. If you QR code that will take you to our audition page. Not that you have to audition straight away, but it does allow you to read through all the information that we've put together, which I'm going to go through here and talk through. But if you miss any of it, jump onto that QR code there and it'll take you through it. Okay. So audition window is already actually open. It's just a video submission, really, really similar to a lot of the other facilities. So if you're working on a video audition already, I reckon this will be pretty similar. It's going to contain one musical theatre piece sung. It's going to contain one dance routine and one mini monologue. We'll work through each of those. Upload your video, your recorded performance of one song in the musical theatre genre. You're required to present your one song in full. Audition does not require an audition cut. You're welcome to sing the whole thing. If you've got an audition cut, completely fine. You're welcome to do that too, but we like watching performances. So if you want to send us a whole song, that's completely fine. Applicants should feel free to sing in the accent that is most appropriate for the song and in line with their performance. Backing tracks used are the responsibility of you guys. Try and find something that allows us to hear the song and the piece that you're performing, but don't let it overtake you as the performer. Please make sure that there's no other backing vocals in those tracks. And you're not required to censor any sheet music. We're all pretty clever here and we can probably figure out what it is that you're supposed to be singing. The monologues themselves, monologues can be sourced from any musicals, plays, films, or TV. Selection of monologues is also available on the website. If you go to the website and that QR code above me, you'll see that Jordan has put together some monologues for you to reference. That they might be ones that you choose to do, and that's completely fine, or that might even give you an indication of what we're sort of looking for. Approximately a minute in length. Try not to go on for too long. Don't give us a full musical, but just about a minute in length, or enough to get through that scene if that's what you've chosen. And they must be presented from memory. We don't want you reading off a form there. Skip the page. The dance audition component of the audition must focus on the technical piece of choreography. You're welcome to choreograph your own or go to you may have some wonderful dance teachers who can help you put something together. That's completely fine. Your self-choreographed pieces should be at least at the level of the demonstration video. So what Fee, the wonderful Fiona Loker, has put together for us is a demonstration video, which is, again, on that link above my head. Jump onto that. And again, if you're not sure what to dance that. Have a crack at that one. Show us your best effort at that piece of choreography. But if you are going to look to put together your own, that'll give you a really good indication of the level that we're expecting or that we're hoping for. Okay, feel free to go on above and beyond. That's completely fine also. And we've already had some questions pop up about the dance stuff. So I'll throw to Fee a little later on and she might articulate that one for us. Again, about a minute in length. We're not sitting here with a stopwatch, but again, not a full musical. Backing track for the dance routine that is online. There's a link to that one. But again, make sure we can hear it so we can hear and see your musicality within the performance too. That's what Fee looks like. That's not a clickable link, so I'm not going to show you now. But that's the video that you can jump onto. So when you're recording your audition, we don't expect you to purchase any fancy gear, any fancy equipment. Absolutely no need for any of that. Your phones, your iPods, those sort of things, iPhones, whatever phones with a camera really, normally is sufficient. If you have something fancy, go nuts. That's completely fine too. But an effective audition tape will be one where we can see and hear you. That's all we really want. And we'll keep reiterating as the night goes on. We're not looking to make this process hard. We just want to hear you sing, hear you speak, and see you perform. However you can do that, that's completely fine by us. You must submit your video audition by providing a link. Again, all the information up there and it directs you to that link. Applicants need to make sure their videos are not set to private just so we can watch them, because sometimes the link will be to a Vimeo or a YouTube or something like that. Just make sure that you've allowed them to be viewable. Ideally, your monologue, song, and dance will be in the one link, just so we don't mix them up. But if you need to post multiple, that's fine. If at any point during the process of submitting your audition, you are confused or aren't sure what to do, call us. We're really nice people. you can chat to us and we'll talk you through that process if you're not sure how to. Refrain from using backlighting and check the audio quality of the light before submitting your tape. So watch yourself back. Make sure that it does look and sound the way that you want to. Please remember that each of your vocal, monologue, and dance auditions are designed to show us effectively you can communicate a story. So this is done by engaging your full instrument, so your voice and your body. So please allow us to see more when it's appropriate to do so. So it might be appropriate in your monologue, but especially your dance to allow us to see all of you. But yeah, make sure that you're not just hiding yourself with just your face. Allow us to see who you are. We understand it may not always be possible to have a full body shot, so a mid shot's also sufficient too. Perform your monologues and song predominantly towards the camera, just so we can see your face and see how you're acting. So the callback audition. So we'll see all those auditions when they come through, and then we'll sit down and watch those, and we'll look to allocate callbacks. Your video auditions are obviously sent into us, but callbacks will need to be on site here in Geelong. If you have trouble with that, we've actually had already some auditions come through from interstate and things, and not sure overseas, but definitely interstate already. So if you are unlikely or you're unsure about how to get to Geelong, again, just give us a call and we can talk through the process about how best to see you and know what you're doing. But they'll take place in person in Geelong West, here at Oxygen College in Geelong West, or around the corner in the Arts Centre. All that will be confirmed later on. Those callbacks will be on Sunday, October the 20th. You need to make sure you're available for that day. So if you're sending through an audition, try and make sure you're available for that day as well for us. So during that callback, you'll perform the same song and monologue from your video audition. You don't have to learn new material, just the same pieces. You'll participate in a group choreography call with Fee, and she'll take you through a variation on whatever was done or something brand new. Details about specific times and requirements for those callbacks, so what to wear or shoes, that'll all be sent out in the email. Okay, how will I be assessed in my auditions? Demonstrated physical, vocal, and creative skills, performance presence, including coordination, poise, and focus, ability to embody text and creative skills convincingly, emotional and imaginative engagement with the material, interpretation of the performance of a song. I know we've had these little videos pop out, and I think it was Maddie who said when you jump online, you'll see her being all awesome and stuff. But we want to see you. We want to see who you are and what you bring to the performance. We don't know our cohort yet. We've never had one, but we're confident they'll be passionate. We're confident that they'll be experienced, but we're confident they'll be good people who really want to focus and learn in musical theatre. So that's what we want to know from you. And it's the same with your callbacks as well. Just again, a note down the bottom there are only 18 positions being offered for 2025. We'd love to take more. Again, maybe in the future that'll be the case. But at the moment, we've had to put a number on it just so we don't get ourselves too many people all at once. And 18 is the number for 2025. Okay. So make sure you are getting those video auditions through. You don't have to leave it to the very last day. We're not going to watch really any of them before that, so it doesn't matter at what point they come through, but try and get them in so that you can make sure that that's taken care of for us. Okie doke. Yeah, all that's online. So I'm just reading what's popped up on the screen there. Submit audition now will be a button at the bottom of the screen on the link above my head. So feel free to jump onto that one. Excellent. I've been waiting. He's been waiting so patiently off screen, and he still is because I haven't clicked the button here to let him on. Luke, how are we, Luke?
Good, thank you, Phil. How are you?
I'm a bit parched. I've been speaking for ages now, so
very good.
I'll jump off for a drink in a second. But you're going to take us through some of the information from the student handbook, some of the more formalities, and then that's going to bring us to the end of the information night. So after that, we'll look through the questions and we'll answer a couple of them for you as we go through. So, Luke, do you want to be? I'll make you the small screen. Not that you're not gorgeous and whatnot, but I reckon we can see through this one.
Yeah, so that's fine. So
talk us through.
Thanks, Phil. My name's Luke McNamara. I'm General Manager at Oxygen College. Play quite a hands-on role with these sort of courses. It's been my absolute pleasure working with the guys you've just been presented, had present to you then in terms of putting this course together. So we're extremely excited to see how 2025 goes. Over the journey, you'll have interactions with me through the application, even in the audition process as well as throughout your study. And it'll be me along with our amazing administration team. So we've got student engagement officers, we've got an admissions team, So we're not just part of the initial stages. We also will support you along with your trainers from an administrative point of view throughout your study with us. So what I'm going to go through tonight is more of that, I suppose you could say the boring side of stuff, which is a little bit about entry requirements. I'll touch on some elements of the audition and application process. I won't go over everything Phil did again, but just some of the different academic testing that needs to take place. And then we'll also touch on fees as well, because I know that there's obviously quite a bit of curiosity around how that works. All of what I'm going to go through tonight is available in our information booklet. A lot of you would have already had a look through that. I know we gave out about 30 of them on open day, and I know some of you guys are watching on tonight as well. So some of you will have already looked over this information. It is available on the Music Theatre page website. If you scroll to the bottom where so if you go onto the website, click on full-time courses, click on musical theatre, then down the bottom of that page, there's download info booklet, how to audition, a whole range of other resources at the bottom of that page. So if you haven't got one already, that's where you can locate the booklet that I'm about to go through. So it's quite a big PDF document. I've only got some stills because I didn't want to put the whole thing up. It would have been about 150 slides. So not everything I say will line up with a slide, but we'll try and line it up as best as possible. So the course overview, I think Phil's covered most of that. I won't go over that again. It is important to stress that it is a nationally accredited qualification. So if you were to undertake this study with us, this course is recognised anywhere within Australia. And that can be really important for those that might be looking at this as a stepping stone into further study at a university or something. And in some cases, what you do with this in the diploma may actually, take some time off future study, especially if you're moving into that university sector as well. So in terms of the application process, before I jump through that, I just want to touch on entry requirements quickly. There's no slides for this, but in terms of entry requirements into the course, everything that you've heard in terms of the audition, and that is one side of things. In terms of your musical theatre, there is also some requirements in terms of your academic level as well. So just to touch on that very briefly, if you hold a certificate for or year 12 intermediate VCAL, or you're going to have your VCE VM, then you will not need to do what's called a CSPA test. If you do not have year 12 VCE VCAL VM or a Cert 4, then as part of this process, there is an academic requirement in order to be eligible for the VET student loan to pass a CSPA. So that's one thing that we touch on. All applicants will undertake a language literacy and numeracy test as well. So that's something, both of those tests, if required, get administered online. So they're the two main academic requirements along with the audition process. Now, in terms of what they entail, I won't go into too much detail. They're standardized tests, and basically what they're looking for is that you are going to be able to participate at a suitable level at the diploma level per the AQF register. So that's what we're looking for there. Along with that, as part of the callback, the verbal sort of side of things, the interview that we go through with you will be assessed along with your performance. And once we get that picture together, so we've got the academic side of things that I'll be working on with you, and we've got your performance side, we put all that together as a profile, and then that will lead to us being able to actively offer you a position once all of those things line up. So that's a little bit about entry requirements. And again, that's on page 10 of the booklet that I'll give you. So if you want to go ahead, Phil, to application process, move on. Yeah, so brief, this is what we're doing now. It's getting you the information so we can move on. Phil, to the next one. So interview and audition. I won't rehash over that again. The October 2nd is the date that we need to get those, the video online applications in, and that will allow us to start the process of moving toward callback. The only other thing to consider is that academic testing will happen at the callback phase. So once Phil and the team give me a list of those whom they would like to issue a callback. We, myself, Brody, or another member of the team will be in touch. At that point, we'll be saying, we'd like to invite you for a callback, and we're going to send you out some testing. So that'll be, you'll be preparing for your callback, and you'll also have some testing to do at home. So we should have everything ready for first round offers after your callback's completed. I hope that makes sense. So we can go on to the next slide, I think, Phil. So notification had come after callback, sorry. And then you'll move into a pre-enrollment meeting and then your enrollment. So we won't bog down what that entails too much. There's some documentation that those that have been offered a position will need to provide. We will be in touch with you as we go through. We send out emails, reminders, we call you at different stages. So you'll be more than aware of the documents that you need to provide as we go through that process. All right, what have we got next, Phil? All right, so very important part. If we just go to the fee schedule, Phil, so basically the cost of the course in order to undertake it throughout the year is $18,838. The good news is, for those needing this provision, we have access to vet student loan. So that is a Commonwealth loan scheme. We don't want to confuse it with HEX, but for many of you, HEX will be what you or your parents or your support network know it as. It isn't HEX. It is a vet student loan, but the mechanism around that loan works the same way as the loan that a lot of people are more familiar with. So basically, the $18,838 will be acquired on that loan, and you'll pay it back once you're earning over a threshold, which is at around the $51,000 mark at the moment. And basically, you pay it off. So every dollar you earn over that amount, you start to slowly pay it back over a long period of time. In order to be eligible for that vet student loan, you need to be an Australian citizen and have not exhausted your cap, which is, I think, at about 110,000. So we do the application for the vet student loan on your behalf. There's obviously lots of checks and balances in order to protect you, making sure you know what you're signing up for. We're really transparent and clear with all of that. If you are under the age of 18, parent or guardian consent is obviously sought and required through that process. So there is the loan scheme available, and that is the bulk of the payment at $18,838. On top of that, there's a $900 administration and tuition fee. That is an upfront payment, and there are payment plans available for that. That basically covers the cost of the administration process. Now, in addition to the $18,838, there is a 20% loan fee. So that will be $3,767. Unfortunately, this course is not state subsidized. Some of our other courses are. This one won't be. So that extra 20% will go on top of the $18,838 on top of your loan amount. Just to be really clear, that money isn't going to us. That is a loan fee that the federal government have put on top of our prescribed amount due to the lack of state subsidy. We hope at some stage in the future that subsidy from the state will be forthcoming, but at this stage, the students applying for 2025 will incur that 20% loan fee. So just to summarize, $18,838 on a vet student loan, $900 administration fee, and then $3,767 for that loan amount, which goes on top of the $18,838. Okay, so have I got anything else after that? Don't think so. That's pretty much most of what I wanted to cover. Again,
you did really well. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I was so engaged.
Thank you.
That was really, really good. What I might do, Luke, we've got some questions that have come through. We are pretty close to wrapping up. I did promise my kids I wouldn't spend all night here. So we are pretty close to wrapping. We've got a few questions that have popped up and come through to us. What I might do is jump to this screen. I'll bring up Fee and Maddie again, and I'll invite Jordan to join me back on camera. Look, you're the biggest. That's awesome. You get to have all the questions as well. Maddie, Fee, we've got you there, do we?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. What questions have we had come through? How much formal dance experience do I need to have? No, it's probably not best for me to answer that one, Fee. That one might be you one. Formal dance experience, and actually just to brief you as well, I know one of the questions we got asked a lot at the open day was dance was perhaps one of the gaps that people had. How concerned should people be about that area of their skill set?
Look, not concerned. I think formal dance experience is not 100% necessary. I have all the skills required to support you in becoming a dancer or developing your technical dance technique. What I do ask is that people come in open and willing to explore dance and their moving body. So in regards to having attended dance classes for 15 years prior in formal dance studios, no, it's not a formal requirement, but come in open and ready to explore your moving body and to dance. So that would be my kind of prerequisite.
And just for this one didn't come through, but I was asked this at Open Day as well, Fee. If you are a dancer, we'd still look to develop you further than what you've already done in that field also. Is that correct?
100%. So the dance component will be targeted and catered to ensure that we're challenging every level within the course cohort. So for those that are coming in that have got advanced dance training and have spent a lot of their lives already in dance studios, there is plenty of content to challenge you and to expand you over the year.
It's maybe you, but you, Maddie, because I've already spoken heaps and they're sick of me. What sort of song should I pick? What area of musical theatre should I pick a song and a cut for my vocal audition? Where should I be picking my song from, fundamentally?
All right, so basically what you want to do is you want to find a song that you really enjoy singing and that you connect with, and one that, and if you enjoy it, means it resonates with you. And so therefore you will tell the story more easily. And when it comes to picking a full length or an audition cut, as Phil said before, if you have, like, I know I'm preparing students as well for all of the auditions all around. And so if you've prepared an audition cut, you can use that. That's absolutely fine. I personally just prefer a full length song because then you get to see the full storytelling and the full journey. But if you've got an audition cut, go for it. And then when it comes to the callbacks, I don't know if Phil said this as well, make sure that you do, although you don't require the sheet music for the initial audition, do have it so that when you do come to the callbacks, we have it as well. So make sure that it's something that you don't initially need, but that you do have. On musicnotes.com is a really good one, and any other website if you're struggling to find sheet music.
Awesome. We've had a question from Caroline pop up about what is the Skills First funding and what is involved. Luke, that definitely feels like a you one. We're doing really well. That one feels like a you one. Yeah, so what is Skills First funding and what's involved in that?
All right, so yeah, our college has two streams of funding. We have access to VET student loans and also Skills First, which is basically state government funding. Unfortunately, due to basically a process whereby the government at the moment have sort of put a freeze on courses being able to apply for that particular form of funding, we didn't attract Skills First funding for this particular course. So as it stands, there is no Skills First funding, which leaves, so no state contribution, which is why there's that loan fee. So unfortunately, for the diploma, it is just the loan amount along with that administration fee. And at this point, there is no state subsidy, which is what Skills First is called. So,
is that an angry letter to our local council member or something? Is it, Luke? Or maybe that's what it is.
We're very happy. We're very happy with our funding arrangements at the moment. Just unfortunately didn't get it for this particular course at this point in time.
Excellent. But that shouldn't really have a run-on effect to any students anyway, should it?
No, and it doesn't affect the cost of the course, bar the loan fee.
Excellent. Yeah. Cool. We've had a question come through about, does it have to be a video audition? One of the things, again, that we were asked in person as well, was perhaps just a bit of trepidation in putting together a video audition. You can see by how well we're all doing that we're obviously super comfortable being on television and camera and stuff. but it can be a bit daunting. Again, just because I've spoken lots, George, and you haven't done one yet, so it feels like your turn. If it does have to be a video audition, that's how the first step of the part of the process works. But I don't know what should help people get through that process, I suppose.
Yeah, so look, the reason why we do say yes, it does have to be, is it's an easy way for us to establish equal opportunity for everyone, especially given that we have had interest from students interstate,
Yeah, absolutely.
who can't necessarily be here for a first round audition, because there's obviously a travel costs, associated with that. But even for students throughout Victoria, it's just an easier way to make sure that everyone's playing on a level field, basically. But also, I can't stress enough, don't overthink it. And I know that's easier said than done, but I don't think any of us enjoy the sound of our voice when it comes back through on a recording. So it's really easy to overthink it and to place a lot of judgment on what you've produced. These videos are completely private. We're the only ones who see them.
Yeah.
They don't exist on the internet. So you can be rest assured with that. But really, the video is just the first step of getting your foot in the door. It just shows us, firstly, if someone is prepared to put in the time and effort to put a video together, that shows us that they're a serious candidate and they actually want to have a go at this course and have that commitment. So that's really important for us to see. Then we just need to see, honestly, potential. Yeah, we have a lot of belief in the course that we've developed, that we are going to be able to get so much out of our students. So don't worry if there's perhaps one area where you feel you're not as strong, say, at your singing as you are at your dance, or maybe acting's your strength. We just want to see potential, enthusiasm, and just submit it. Yeah, don't wait till the last day. You've got school holidays coming up, which is an excellent opportunity to get some takes and edits underway. And then honestly, once we see what we want, callbacks are going to go out, and that's an opportunity for everyone to meet us to meet you, have a chat and workshop. I think it was on the audition form that at the callback stage, the same song and monologue will be used. And we've done that because we can then review the videos, take some notes, and at the callback stage, workshop those pieces with you.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's fundamentally what we've got. That's addresses most of the questions. I think a lot of the other questions we sort of answered around, but we will go back through our feeds and make sure that we jump on and answer them online as well. I think that about wraps it up. Outside of saying, just again, reach out. We are all wonderful people here at Oxygen College. Well, most of us are wonderful people here at Oxygen. We don't mind chatting to you if there's anything you're worried about. I've spoken to lots of people about the course already, just on the phone. So yeah, feel free to give us a buzz. Phil, Jordan, Maddie, Fee, Luke, and all the rest of the stuff here. If there's any questions, you can give us a buzz and you'll chat to one of us, and we've got no issue with that whatsoever. Luke looks like he wants to say something. Go, Luke.
Yeah, no, I just got one more question there from Caroline. Thank you. With regards to the VCE certificate not being issued, so what we can do is, say a student has been offered a callback, they've passed the language literacy and numeracy test. They don't have to do the CSPA because we know the VCE certificate's coming. What we basically do is we don't have to have received that certificate until before February 10th, and most of them are issued by sort of mid to early January. So we would just have the file all ready to go, and we would have the administration team waiting on that certificate. So it wouldn't prohibit an offer, an enrolment session being booked, a deposit being paid. We would just have that as one document that we had to receive before February 10th. And usually they're out well before then because they understand people need them for these sorts of applications.
Awesome. You're all over it, Luke. Smash it.
I know it all. I really do.
Wealth of knowledge. This is awesome. I knew none of that. So no, I'm really, really glad we've got you. Cool. If there's no other questions popping up, like I said, feel free. If you're watching this back again later on, we'll get someone will jump onto the feeds and have a chat. And have a look through the feeds afterwards. If you're getting to this late, you can watch it back. This video is going to be housed on the Facebook page and YouTube at the very least. So feel free to jump back on there and have a read through. If there's any other questions you got, bang them on there or reach out to us. We'd love to meet you. But outside of that, yeah, we're just really looking forward to getting through all the audition videos and seeing all the wonderful people that we have the chance to work with in 2025. So I'll say thanks. Let's see if I can do it. I'll say thanks to Luke. Say bye, Luke.
Thank you.
He's gone. That's not the best shot anymore. I totally ruined that. I did a thing. We'll say bye to Maddie and Fee, and myself and John, just because we're best buddies, are going to sign off as well. So yeah, jump on, have a look through this. Any questions, reach out to us. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us wherever you've been joining us from, and hopefully we'll see you in 2025. Thanks so much, Greg.
Bye.